Good morning, fourth grade. It is time for our language lesson. Just let you know, I'm still numb from the dentist. So if I sound funny, or if my face looks a little bizarre, or I start to drool all over the floor, just know it's because my mouth is still a little numb. But I wanted to make sure I got into the classroom so that I could teach you your language lesson, okay? So let's go ahead. Today we're just reviewing adjectives and how to find them in a sentence. And so I wanted to go over that with you one more time, okay? So let me grab my book. Okay, so if you remember, we went over this last time we were together. You're gonna look for verb first in the sentence, then you're gonna look for the subject, which is a noun, and we learned it also could be a pronoun. You're gonna look for all the nouns in the sentence after that, then you're gonna look for all the other pronouns in the sentence before you get to the adjectives. And then once we get to the adjectives, we have our adjective questions. Which one, what kind, how many, how much, and whose. So again, those should be in your folder. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this down since we should already have that written down somewhere. So I've written on the board a couple of the sentences from last week. They were actually in a section that I didn't do with you. And so I'm going to go over just a few of them just to make sure that you are still understanding how to find adjectives in your sentences, okay? So go ahead and pull out just a sheet of paper or just watch this video as I go through it, and then you can go back. The actual sentences are on page 181 on Think C. So if you want to refer there now or after my video is done, just to double check your work, okay? So let's go ahead and look at this. So right here I have our first sentence. It says, the white snow covered the bare ground. The white snow covered the bare ground. So we're gonna look for what first? We're gonna look for the verb. So we're gonna look for, let me use the color. Remember, even when finding adjectives, we're gonna label all of the parts. So we're gonna start with verb. So what's the verb of the sentence? Hopefully you said covered. Okay, after we find covered, the verb, we're going to look for the subject. What covered? Snow covered. So again, that's the subject, but it's a noun. Okay, now we're going to look for any other nouns in the sentence. I see another one. It's right here. It's ground. Okay, are there any pronouns in the sentence? I don't see any pronouns. Now, one thing I kept forgetting to remind you of is that we have to look for those automatic adjectives. And do you guys remember what those automatic adjectives are called? Called articles. And they are the words a and the. So when we go and find our adjectives, the first thing you should be finding is these three words. Okay? So do we have those three words in our sentence? Yes, we do. We have the over here, which is an adjective, and we have the over here, that's an adjective. So we actually have already found some adjectives without having to go through our questions. But now I'm going to go back and go through each word. Snow. Which snow? No. What kind of snow? White snow. So that's an adjective. Okay? Then we come over here and look at ground. Which ground? No. What kind of ground? Bare ground. And that's an adjective. Now on your worksheet, you were supposed to do your arrows. So if you did your arrows correctly, they should go like this. Because these words are describing these nouns. Okay? Let's try another one. Again, let's look for the verb first. Followed. Who followed? Ducklings, so they're the subject, but they're also a noun. Then we look for any other nouns that are in the sentence, and if you looked, mother would be a noun. Then we'll look for any pronouns. No pronouns. Automatics. I was using automatics in this sentence. And then we're going to look for our adjectives using our questions. So we're going to look at duckling. Ready? Ducklings. What kind of ducklings? No. Which ducklings? No. How many ducklings? Ooh, 10. Oh, I missed one. It is what kind of ducklings? Little. Little ducklings and How many ducklings? Okay. Does it answer how much ducklings? No. Does it answer whose ducklings? No. So we can just leave it with those two. Remember, you need to go through all your questions just to make sure that you didn't forget any adjectives that are answering. Remember, they can be all over the sentence. They could be in the front. They could be in the back. They could be anywhere. So you have to pay attention to all of the questions. The next one says mother. Mother. What kind of mother? No. Which mother? No. How many mother? No. How much mother? No. Whose mother? Their mother. That's another adjective. So again, we're going to draw our arrows to the noun they're describing. Okay? Our last sentence I'm going to go over today says, the ticking clock bothered my anxious aunt. Okay, so let's look at it. What's my verb? Bothered. What's my subject? Clock, which we know the subject also means a noun. Then we're going to look for any other nouns in the sentence. Noun. Okay, so far so good. Then we're going to look for any pronouns. No pronouns. Do we have any automatics? I think we do. We have an automatic right here. Okay? Then I have to go back and ask all the adjective questions. So clock. Which clock? What kind of clock? It's a ticking clock. How many clock? How much clock? Whose clock? Doesn't answer any of those questions, does it? Now we're going to look at this one, ant. We're going to ask, which kind of ant? Which ant? Which kind of ant? Yeah, we actually do have that one. That's an adjective. Anxious. How many ant? How much ant? Whose ant? Oh, my aunt. And there we go. All right, again, don't forget your arrows. All right, so hopefully that helps you and makes you a little more confident with adjectives, okay? So if you have any questions, the next time we have a Zoom chat, make sure you bring them to me so that I can help you out. All right, that's our language lesson for today.